It's been quite a few weeks for the organization known as We. They've gone from being darlings of the school system, the people that bring you We Day, to an organization tied up in a controversy about a conflict of interest with the Prime Minister. And the stories have started to shift, though, from being just about did the Prime Minister act properly or improperly in awarding a $912 million contract to a charity that he and his family have close ties with, to what is this organization all about? How do they spend the money? How do they use the goodwill that allows them into schools across the country, that brings in thousands of children to listen to them and their friends speak at We Day events? Well, We has actually announced a restructuring, a major restructuring. That news came out Wednesday evening. Here's part of what they said in a statement. After much reflection and with great care and concern for all our stakeholders, we have made some important decisions to refocus on our mission, simplify our program offering, and undertake a series of governance and structural changes. They're also going to cancel We Day events for the foreseeable future. I don't think this is going to stop the questions that have been raised. Over the past couple of days, I've been publishing reports in the Toronto Sun about what I've discovered regarding We. It's a complex organization, and that's part of the problem. While we all know We, the charity, and the We Day events that they put on, there is a level of complexity that isn't normal for a lot of organizations that are operating in this realm. They've got the Me to We social enterprise. That's a privately held business. We believe it's owned by the Kielburger brothers. They started that, and that's the organization that pays the Kielburger brothers. Me to We donates a lot of money to We the charity, but We the charity also buys a lot of goods and services from Me to We social enterprises. There's also a We Charity Foundation. There's a Me to We Foundation. There's Me to We Asset Holdings, Inc. There's another charity called Imagine One Day International. And what I discovered as I looked into this complex nature is not only the same people showing up over and over again. You often find the same board members or the same people in charge of the finances of these various organizations, but I found that they all owned real estate in the same neighborhood. Now, if you know about We, you've likely heard about the We Global Learning Center. It's a big old building at the corner of Queen Street and Parliament in Toronto, just a little bit east of the downtown core. This is a building that they transformed from an old furniture store into a world-class center for all of their operations. What most people don't know is that We, the charity, or Me to We, the social enterprise, or Me to We, the foundation, or this Imagine One Day International, systematically bought up the rest of the block. They own the south side of Queen Street between Parliament and Berkeley. They also own some houses down the side of Berkeley Street. They own buildings across the street on the north side of Queen. That's a bizarre amount of real estate for a charity and affiliated organizations to hold, and it was bought up in a way that, when I showed it to people familiar with real estate development, said, this looks like a condo play. This is just one of the many questions that We has to fully answer. Why did they and affiliated organizations buy up so much real estate? They've been asked that question by me, and I describe it in my report in the Toronto Sun. In fact, I print many of their answers verbatim, but they haven't fully come clean on what this was about. They vaguely talk about a social entrepreneurship center, but say those plans are on hold due to COVID-19. Was this a plan to develop condos? If so, then just be upfront and open about it. Let the people know. We're talking about organizations that get a lot of government grant money, that have a lot of charitable donations given to them. The public deserves to know, because while some of these buildings are owned by the private company of the Kielburger brothers, most of this is owned by organizations that have charitable status. And that allows for a level of public scrutiny that I don't think We is used to. And that is probably part of the reason they're going to this restructuring. They're not used to the critical eye being cast on them that they've faced over the past 2 weeks since this $912 million sole source contract from the Trudeau government started to cause them headaches. But I'll tell you this, I don't think the questions are done. I think there's more questions to be asked and answered on their real estate in Toronto, and also about the real estate that they transferred in Kenya from We's charity arm to a privately held company whose owners they won't reveal. There's a lot more going on here, a lot more than meets the eye, and the time for scrutiny, as I said the other day in one of my columns, is now. let the scrutiny continue as WE goes through their reorganization.